All right, here we go. Everyone see this? Outrage in Somalia after man says he married missing 8-year-old. You got this? Outrage. Now we're going to read this, and you're going to find out why it should be confusing that there's outrage. So if you think, why would there be outrage just based on the title? It could be because he married an 8-year-old, or because the girl is missing somehow, and that may play a role in this story. We got this so far? So let's find out why there's this outrage in Somalia, according to the BBC, who says there's outrage, so you know you can trust it. Outrage has spread in Somalia after an 8-year-old girl who had been missing for 6 months. Wow, this girl's missing for 6 months. Was found living with a man who said he was her husband. So girl's missing for 6 months. They find her, and she's living with a guy who says, "What are you talking about? This is my wife." The girl was reported missing by her family in the semi-autonomous region of Puntland last September. Months later, it emerged the girl's father had consented for her to be married to an adult named Sheikh Mahmoud. You got this? Her family reported her missing. "Where is our daughter? Our daughter is missing. She's lost." Everyone goes into panic mode. We have to find this girl. We have to find her and rescue her. Then it eventually comes out the girl's father had consented for her to be married. So apparently he didn't inform his wife or the rest of the family. We're giving this girl to a guy named Sheikh Mahmoud. But it was so here's the thing. If she'd been kidnapped as a child bride or something like that, you could say, okay, there'd be outrage, and it wouldn't have to do with the age of marriage in Islam or anything like that. It would just be you married a girl that you kidnapped. That would be a problem. That happens quite a bit in the Muslim world. But it's usually Christians or Hindus or something like that that are being kidnapped and taken. Taking a Muslim girl, that would be a different story. But turns out, nope, the father said, "Hey, you take my 8-year-old daughter."
What did you get in return? I wonder.
Don't know. Don't see it here. Security forces, so down at the bottom, security forces surrounded the man's house last week and forced they way. Come on, BBC. Security forces surrounded the man's house last week and forced they way in.
They forced their way in.
Yeah, I know. What is this, like BBC Ebonics? They forced their way. They forced their way in after he locked himself in a room with the girl. So police surround the house and he locks himself in a room with the girl, 8-year-old girl. But they force their way in. Everyone got this so far? All right. The incident has sparked anger. The incident has sparked anger on social media. What for? It was okay. Consent was given. Her father consented. He didn't inform the rest of the family and pretended that the girl had been kidnapped. It's actually kind of messed up, right? So it sounds like he gave away his daughter to a dude, probably in exchange for money. Didn't bother to tell his wife. Then his wife's like, "Where's our daughter? Where's our daughter?" And he didn't want to tell her. He didn't want to tell her, "Hey,
I don't know.
Yeah, I gave her. Yep. Oh, no, I have no idea what happened. No idea." She's like, "Call the cops." But by that time, he's too deep into the lie, so he can't like. Okay, I gave her. He's like, "Oh yeah, let's find her. Let's call the cops." And so then the police get involved, and then months of searching. This guy keeps his mouth shut that he gave his daughter to this dude, and just pretends we have no idea. Did she run away? Was she kidnapped? No way of knowing. Meanwhile, he knows who he gave his daughter to. Wild stuff. The incident has sparked anger on social media and public protests in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu. It has also prompted fresh debates about child protection laws, as currently there is no minimum legal age for marriage. As currently there is no minimum legal age for marriage. What's more shocking than the tragedy itself are the allegations of abduction and the fact that her family had no knowledge of her whereabouts for months. Well, her dad did, but the rest of the family, no, because he kept that to himself. Fadumo Ahmed, chairperson of leading rights group, the Somali Women Vision Organization, told the BBC. We trust the responsible institutions to take the right and necessary legal action. What legal action? Not telling your wife that you gave your daughter away in marriage? Like, there's no minimum age, so the guy can legally marry her. The father gave consent. I don't even know what the necessary legal action would be here. But anyway.
To ban Islam, maybe? Well.
I mean, that would be a good legal action. That would be a good legal action. Or to just say, you know what? Who cares about Muhammad? That dude is weird and creepy. Let's go ahead and make a minimum age law. Got to do it. Okay, so some sort of legal action. No idea what that is. According to the 8-year-old's uncle, she was taken from her home in the city of Bosaso last September by a female relative. This relative said she was escorting the child on a trip to see another uncle. So the father and some unnamed female relative plotted. Isn't this creepy? It almost sounds like the guy knows that his wife is not going to consent to giving away their 8-year-old, and he's just like, okay, I can't tell her. We'll make it look like a kidnapping so that she freaks out and has no idea where her daughter is.
I'm actually kind of surprised, I guess positively surprised that at least in this case, the woman is not a complete, slave nut job or something.
Yeah. So if the guy's basically hiding it from his wife, then sounds like the woman is not just blindly going along with her husband and so on. So that's good. So according to the 8-year-old's, towards the top now, according to the 8-year-old's uncle, she was taken from her home in the city of Bosaso last September by a female relative. This relative said she was escorting the child on a trip to see another uncle. But months later, a video surfaced online showing the girl reciting the Quran. Which verse do you think she was reciting, AP? I'm guessing she was reciting Surah 65, verse 4, which had been taught to her by her husband right when he married her.
I think she was reciting Surah 4, verse 34.
Yeah, that would work too. 434 would work too. Matter of fact, probably those two verses were all she learned of the Quran. So Surah 4, verse 34, that if you rebel against your husband, he could beat you into submission. And Surah 65, 4, which talks about marrying, having sex with, and divorcing girls all before they've reached the age of puberty, which is why there's no minimum age for marriage in Somalia to this day. So a video surfaced online. So someone's checking TikTok and finds a girl reciting the Quran or something. They find hey, this is our daughter. We've been looking for her. But here she is in this video reciting the Quran, which someone posted to social media somewhere. And then the family says, okay, let's track down this account and find out who's posting video of our daughter.
That's so messed up, man.
It's extremely messed up. Her family subsequently launched a search for the child. It is unclear why they did not do this sooner. Well, it sounds like they were searching for... Oh, I guess they mean before the video surfaced? Yeah, I don't know. Pretty weird. They discovered she was in the Carmo area living with Sheikh Mahmoud. I wonder if that's a name or if he's a sheikh. I don't know, because sheikh can also be a name.
He's probably just a sheikh.
What did you say?
He's probably a sheikh.
Probably a sheikh.
He's
oh, yeah.
shaking it.
Yep. That's why he had her reciting the Quran. Sheikh Mahmoud initially said he was solely teaching the girl the Quran. So, hey, what are you doing? Because remember, they surround the place. He locks himself in a room with the girl. They force their way in. And they're like, hey, what you doing with this 8-year-old in here? And he insists, I've just been teaching her the Quran and posting videos online. And they're like, are you sure that's all you were doing? And he's like, okay, I was doing something else, yes. We all know. But after legal complaints were filed, he changed his statement, saying he had married the girl with her father's consent. When asked by the BBC, oh, here we go. Look at this. You ready for this, AP?
Yes.
Because this is where it gets real. When asked, let me put this up at the top. Here we go. When asked by the BBC, this is the important part, ladies and gentlemen. When asked by the BBC how he justified marrying an 8-year-old, how could you do such a thing, even though it's legal? When asked by the BBC, but it's the BBC asking him. When asked by the BBC how he justified marrying an 8-year-old, Sheikh Mahmoud said that the traditions of Islam's Prophet Muhammad, along with that of the Shafi'i school of thought, allowed child marriage. AP, is he correct about the traditions of Islam?
Bing, bing, bing. Yes, he's correct.
But is he correct about the Shafi'i school of thought?
Yes, he's correct.
Oh, so he's correct.
He's correct that it's the Shafi school of thought, but it's not just that. So
this guy is correct as far as his justification goes. There could be other justifications in the Muslim sources, but hey, I'm doing what Muhammad did. And we are under the Shafi school of thought here, and that says it's fine. Well, guess what? So do the other schools. Do the other schools. You have to get to some modern imaginary school that's made up in the 21st century to find something
all
else.
The 4 schools say it is fine. And if, in fact, they say if she's 9, it is fine.
Yep.
If she's younger than 9 and you see signs of maturity, it may be fine, and so on.
Yeah, it depends on whether it's
traditionally fine. It actually traditionally says, even if she doesn't show signs of maturity, if you're not going to break her permanently, it's fine. That's basically what Islam says.
And we've seen this over and over again from people like Daniel Hakikachu and so on. Pretty creepy stuff. But it is interesting. Hey, so you get this BBC reporter. How in the name of common sense can you justify having sex with an 8-year-old? You sick freak. Where'd you get that idea? You lunatic? Muhammad. Oh, well, I'm starting to sound like an Islamophobe, so I'll just keep my mouth shut. Let's see. And by the way, guys, the point of this is beliefs matter, and who you accept as a prophet matters. This all matters. And we sit there having debates about this. We actually have debates about whether this is okay. Inspiring Philosophy debated Daniel Hakikachu on child marriage. I've had a couple of debates on Muhammad and Aisha, but you've got the Dawah guys, and they are the world's leading defenders of child marriage. But the point is this is not just some sort of intellectual exercise or some random debate topic. These beliefs have real world consequences, and it's the Muslim leaders and so on who stand in the way of protecting these young girls. Because the idea is, well, if you say, a girl has to be 13 or 15 or 17 or whatever, then you'd basically be not taking Muhammad as your pattern of conduct, when the Quran says Muhammad is your pattern of conduct. Therefore, you just can't do it. You just can't do it. And then you've got in the West all these Dawah guys, and they're all defending it. They're all defending child marriage. And we think, okay, well, it's not like they're actually going to change the law. No, these things have real world implications, and countries can change their laws about these things. So pretty creepy. It's just yet one more situation where we're sitting there arguing against these guys. These guys are calling for it being legal to have sex with 4 and 5-year-olds. Daniel Hakikachu, 4 and 5-year-olds. It's fine, right? 4 and 5-year-olds. We're saying, no, don't do that. And somehow we're the bad guys. We're the bad guys. We're the Islamophobes. We're the bigots for saying, guys, you need to pay attention to what's going on in Islam. You need to pay attention to what's going on in Dawah. You need to pay attention to what's in the Muslim sources. And because we say this, we're the bad guys. Meanwhile, you've got people having sex with little girls. So, when asked by the BBC how he justified, how could you do such a thing or think that it's okay? How he justified marrying an 8-year-old. You're sick. You're sick. Sheikh Mahmoud said that the traditions of Islam's Prophet Muhammad, along with that of the Shafi'i school of thought, allowed child marriage. Now, the second I read that, AP, literally the second I was reading that, I was thought, the next paragraph, they're going to have to say that it somehow doesn't have anything to do with Islam. They're going to have to say it somehow, right? So you know that. Anytime there's anything that could be interpreted as a criticism of Islam, just wait for the next paragraph, ladies and gentlemen. That's all you have to do.
I don't even want to see. I just want to stop the stream right here.
Yeah, we should just cut the stream right here and leave it on, I can't say it's a positive note because it's extremely messed up and evil, but it's a positive note in reporting that they're actually like asking the guy where you got this idea. And then, contrary to almost everything we've ever seen from the BBC, they actually give the answer that the guy gave. Hey, this is part of my religion. This is part of my religion. And it's because of Muhammad. It's because of Muhammad and my school of jurisprudence. By the way, they probably only tossed in the school of jurisprudence just so people will get the impression that, other schools might have different ideas. Not, they all have the exact same idea.
It might just be a radical, extreme interpretation of Islam. Otherwise, Islam is a religion of peace and it doesn't end of reason. Of course, it wouldn't have such things. Oh, no.
Yes, the problem is not Islam. The problem is just the Shafi'i school of thought that influenced this guy.
Stupid Shafi, it's their fault. It's not Islam.
Their fault, but everyone else is fine and great.
So, next paragraph, right after this guy points out, I got this from Muhammad, guys. I didn't make this up. I got this directly from Muhammad. After the BBC questioned his reasoning. What reasoning? He's stating a fact. After the BBC questioned his reasoning, citing opposition from numerous Somali Islamic scholars. What is their opposition? Tell us what the opposition is. Tell us how you would argue against this from Islam, from an Islamic perspective. Now, once a country makes some sort of minimum age law, you can say, well, it's just the law. It's the law. We made the law. But if you have no minimum age for marriage, then if you're a Muslim, what are you going by? You're going by Muhammad's example. So what are the Islamic scholars, the Somali Islamic scholars, going to say that would make this wrong? He had the consent of the father, and he married her. She's 8. He is following the example of Muhammad. How could you possibly condemn this? And I would be surprised. So you basically got two possibilities. One, the reporter's making this up. There are all these scholars who say that it's wrong. Or that the scholars are basically lying to the BBC reporter going, oh, yes, you're shocked by that? You're shocked? Are people going to be surprised by this in the UK and wherever they read this? Are people going to be surprised? Oh, yeah, then just say, we condemn it. Yeah, it's not part of Islam. Just say something like that. Okay, I'll report that.
What's funny here is that the BBC apparently is here trying to argue from Islam to argue with this guy against the child. I wonder if this even happened.
Yeah.
I wonder if that conversation even took place, Yeah. Like, it's like they are trying to appeal to Islam to say, but numerous Islamic scholars like A, B, C, D, E, F, and G all say that this is not allowed. So why would you do this? And he's like, no, I stick to my extreme interpretation of Islam, which is why I will never. I mean, that probably didn't happen.
Yeah, of course not. Especially when it says citing opposition from numerous Somali Islamic scholars. You don't name any of them. But somehow the reporter went to all these scholars. And I just went from scholar to scholar to scholar. And I was like, what's going on with this child marriage? And scholar after scholar after scholar, numerous scholars. They all said, no, this has nothing to do with Islam. He's just an extremist.
In fact, just for this, I spent several years in Somalia to talk to numerous scholars to get their opinions on this, which is why this is a delayed report, because I wanted to go to all the scholars.
Yes, this story actually took place in 1942. I've been working on this story since then, going until I interviewed every scholar in all of Somalia. And every last one of them said, no, this is not allowed. No, Aisha was 18 or 25 or 147.
Yes, actually, she was 81, not 18. They got the number wrong. They reversed it.
We dropped a 0. She wasn't 9. She was 90.
So, yeah, guys, anyone believe this guy went to numerous Somali Islamic scholars and got the answer? I don't. AP doesn't. So, but anyway, if he did go to any scholars, they lied to him because they're like, oh, he's a reporter for the BBC. Let's make something up. Sheikh Mahmoud maintained that he would not abandon the marriage. So after the BBC questioned his reasoning, the BBC's questioning, we at the BBC question your reasoning here, even though your reasoning is airtight from an Islamic perspective. Muhammad did it. It's okay. Citing opposition from numerous Somali Islamic scholars, Sheikh Mahmoud maintained that he would not abandon the marriage.
I'm not doing it.
I will not abandon my wife. Not for you, not for anybody. Allah says it's okay.
I love her. We love each other. We will never leave each other. You want to get between us? We will not allow this.
We're like Romeo and Juliet over here.
I didn't ask her, but I think that's how she feels too.
Sheikh Mahmoud, wherefore art thou, Sheikh Mahmoud?
The general idea here is that you should keep your children away from somebody named Sheikh Mahmoud.
Yes. If someone named Sheikh Mahmoud wants to teach your daughter the Quran, do not let him do that.
Yeah.
Because then and all he's going to be shaken. Puntland's, what's wrong with you, man?
Nothing.
Puntland's police and human rights authorities intervened on March 25th. Oh, so this is very recently. Intervened on March 25th, removing the girl from the man's home after her family filed a complaint. So the dad was okay with it, and then some unspecified female relative, but once mom and everyone else finds out about it, uncles, all that, they're like, nope. Not happening. Even though it's completely justified by Islam, we are actually better people than our religion commands us to be. And therefore, we just know you don't do that to an 8-year-old girl. Give us a girl back. Now, it's going to be a problem if there was a dowry and so on. So you're going to have to give that back by taking the daughter back. Hope the dad didn't spend all that money. Removing the girl from the man's home after her family filed a complaint. The girl is now back with her family. Well, that's good. Puntland's police force told the BBC.
Additionally, she's back with the family? She shouldn't be back with the family, man. She should be taken somewhere else.
Well, I mean, apart from her dad and that other female relative, the rest of her family sounds pretty cool. They're like, no, bring her back. But the dad consent. I don't care. Get her back now.
I don't trust the family. I don't trust the rest of the family either.
Matter of fact, I mean, if the dad had to keep it secret from the rest of the family may actually be okay. Stop having a bad opinion of people just because they're Somali, AP.
I don't trust the rest of the family.
There is something sketchy going on here. I mean, seriously, it could be a situation where guy paid for her and stuff like this. They spent the money and they're like, hey, I bet we can get her back. We'll just complain to the police.
Yeah.
So it could be something shady like that. I have to say, kind of looks like the dad and a female relative conspired to get rid of her and then covered it up because they know that like the mom would not approve or something like that. Anyway, the girl is now back with her family. Puntland's police force told the BBC. The BBC. Chat BBC. Additionally, an investigation into the case has been launched. Government officials have said child marriage remains prevalent in Somalia. You think?
Huh. Interesting.
Where they got that idea? Huh. According to a report published in 2020 by the United Nations Population Fund and the Somali government, 35% of women aged between 20 and 24 in the country were married before the age of 18. In 2017, this figure stood at 45%. The rate of child marriage is driven by various factors, including poverty, insecurity. Yeah. You give the correct answer as I'm going through these again. The rate of child marriage is driven by various factors, including
Islam.
poverty,
Islam.
insecurity,
Islam.
and traditional customs
Islam.
that often disregard a girl's age in wedding arrangements.
Islam.
Can we think of a religion that disregards a girl's age in wedding arrangements?
Islam.
Yeah, that's out. Yeah, you win. You got the correct answer.
You see?
In an attempt to tackle the issue, Somalia's Ministry of Women and Human Rights submitted a draft child rights bill to Parliament in 2023. That's good. See, they're making progress, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there's a however. Dang it. Why did there have to be a however? However, the proposal was sent back after MPs objected to certain provisions. I wonder on what basis they objected to those provisions. Any theory?
Islam.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's probably the correct answer. The bill is expected to be reintroduced, but there is no clear timeline for this. So, in an attempt to tackle this issue, Somalia's Ministry of Women and Human Rights submitted a draft child rights bill. Sitting here looking at this going, women and human rights? We're talking about little girls. We're not even talking about women. Make it little girls and human rights. Anyway, they tried to draft a bill. It was sent back after objections. And they don't say why, but guess what? It's the exact same objections we have from the guy who married the girl. We know what that is. Right there in the middle of the page. When asked by the Bay Say how he justified marrying an 8-year-old girl, Sheikh Mahmoud said that the traditions of Islam's Prophet Muhammad, along with that of the Shafi'i school of thought, allowed child marriage. When the human rights bill went before the government, what were the objections? They don't say, but we know exactly what it is. We know exactly what the objections would be. The objections would be, hey, you can't make a law against this because the traditions of Islam's Prophet Muhammad, along with that of the Shafi'i school of thought and any of the other schools of thought, allow child marriage.